everyone to stand up because nobody has moved. So everybody stand up and stretch. Take a breath and breathe. It gets stuck when we sit too long. Is that better? I hear a lot of deep breaths.
Trying to just wake him up.
Yeah, yes, because there's a lot of people in a little room. How many people in here are part-time? One, just one person? Okay, so this will be for you, but also know that how many people in here are hiring? Okay, so you will hire part-time people. You are welcome to share my information with them. I'm happy to help and talk to them. You all can sit back in there. It's like Simon says.
Jen says.
So, like Paige mentioned, I work part-time. That has always been my MO. I got into this, I was a stay-at-home mom for 15 years. My daughter, Megan, is 17. She's a senior in high school. My son, Tanner, is 15. He is a sophomore. And then I have my Ethan, who is 9, and he is my precious angel on earth. He's my baby. So they were used to mom being home all the time. Well, when we bought our current house that we are in, my husband and I doubled our mortgage payment. We own a landscape company in Raleigh. So he was the breadwinner, and I pretty much, I have a doTERRA essential oils business. I take pictures, I'm a photographer. So I did all these things, and it was like our spending money. Well, when we moved into the new house, it got to be a little uncomfortable in our budget. And so with all the kids now at school at that point, Ethan had, I think he was in 1st grade, I had said, you know, maybe there's something else I could do. So I came across a Facebook post that Paige had put out there about her story. And so I met with Freddie and Paige, and was very excited about Family First Life. I didn't have any idea what it was going to do for my family. It has changed our life, even as a part-time person. So, for instance, on Sunday, I bought $400 worth of instant internet leads. I was ready to dial at 8 o'clock Monday morning. If you all know that Labor Day is the best day of the entire year to dial because everybody's home. I dialed for an hour and a half and set 10 appointments. I went to work on Tuesday. I was gone for, I think I was gone for 10 hours. So that meant that part-time, I made $400 an hour. $400 an hour, and I work part-time. So there's nowhere else that you can work part-time. Doctors don't make that working part-time. So I'm gonna tell you what I do, and it's gonna blow your minds. I buy leads, I set my schedule, I make phone calls. That is what I do. The more people you get in front of, the more swings you have at bat. So you can write $4,800 in one day and make $400 an hour. There is nowhere else on this earth that you can do that that's legal. So I'm very, very intentional with what I do. My kids know that on Mondays and Thursdays, I'm dialing. I was going to the Raleigh office to dial. It's always great if you are within a 2 to 3 hour drive to an office, go to it because you are around people who are doing the same thing that you are doing. Some days it sucks. Some days I'm not done in 3 hours, and those days aren't fun. But it's nice to be around people who are all doing what you're doing because everyone's encouraging. You have ways to overcome objections if the same ones keep coming up. And we can change our mindset very quickly when you're with people. So that's number one thing. And then when COVID happened, my kids were then home. Everyone's kids were home. So I was dialing at home. Now, so I'll go back. I had a conversation with my kids, especially with my now 9-year-old. He doesn't understand why mom, like, why aren't you off the bus when I get off the bus? Why aren't you home? You know, what time are you going to be home? Are you going to be home before I go to bed? What's for dinner? You know, Mom, can you wash my soccer jersey before I have to be at school? All of these things were a conversation. I was very intentional with my family. My husband is my biggest cheerleader. I could not do this without him. He used to have to click buy when I bought my leads, guys. He clicked buy because I couldn't do it. So we are very intentional. Now it is weird if I am not at my dining room table on Monday. And I will tell you, all 4 of them will march in and say, what are you doing? How come you're not in the dining room? Are you done dialing? How many appointments did you get? Every single one of them asks me. But the fun part is, on Tuesdays when I get in the door, they all ask me, how many families did you help today? And it's fun when I get to say 5 or 7. Sometimes I say 1. I still get high fives from all of them. And then they ask me how much money I made. So doing it the right way, the way I start my day, I have different affirmations for different days. But I start my day with God every single morning. I have my devotional that I read. It's called Jesus is Calling. I have a book that I read. It's called Fervent. It is for men and women. The title says for a woman's battle plan for specific prayer. It is not just for women. It is for everybody. I read that. I read a few pages of that. I also have a gratitude journal that I write in. I write anything from that I'm thankful that I woke up this morning to I'm thankful for a talk I had with an agent the night before. Sometimes I'm thankful for the bad things that happen because they make me who I am today. So I have a gratitude journal. I also have an out loud conversation with God. I ask him to help me set my appointments quickly because I have a lot to do. I have to set my appointments because the second half of the day is filled with mom stuff. So that's pretty much what I do. I try to make sure that my dial time is always protected. Like I said, now it's weird if I'm not doing that. It's weird if I'm not running on a Tuesday or a Friday. And if I'm ever not running on those days, I make it up and I work a different day, which is the beauty of what we do. We can have a flexible schedule and we can do what we need to do and take care of it. Does anyone have any questions?
Can you talk about the consistency factor? Because you didn't have that in the beginning.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was not consistent. I was a sometimes girl. I would do this when I wasn't busy with my family. And if you knew my family, we are always busy. I have 3 athletes and a husband that owns a landscape company. So I had to be consistent with what I do. I have to buy leads twice a week if this is going to work. You have to make sure you have that time protected because when you're part-time, you have to make sure that the time that you're giving this is quality time. And it has to not be, oh, just sometimes, or, hey, I'd love to get an extra $1,000 in my bank account. I think I'll go this weekend. You need that momentum all of the time. What happens when you stop a roller coaster? It's taking forever to go up the track. Or if you are pushing a snowball, it's going to take forever. If you stop, you're going to have to take that much time to get it going again. So it's really important that you stay consistent and you always have that in your favor. That way, it's not awful when something does derail a little bit. You can just hop right back on and do it. Any other questions?
You dial 2 days and run 2 days?
Mm-hmm.
Then you
Yep.
dial,
I dial Mondays and Thursdays, and I run on Tuesdays and Fridays.
so you dial just a day before you run.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The
Okay.
TikTok side of your business.
So, my TikTok side, I feel extremely underqualified. I feel like I should have yanked my 17-year-old out of school because it would not have happened. Hence why she got a brand new cell phone this weekend as a thank you. So, I had TikTok on my phone. I never even pressed it. I thought my kids were talking about stuff, so I should probably keep an eye on what they're looking at. I never even had anything to do with it. Well then, Mike Pearson and Paige had done a TikTok, and I showed my daughter Megan, and I was like, this is fun. We should totally do this. And I said, let me go shower, and I'll do my face. And you know, I was business up from like here up at the dining room table. And in April, I did a little over 12,000, and I only worked 4 days. So I told Megan, I said, she goes, well, let's come up with some questions. Our video was 7 seconds. 7 seconds. And she posted it at 10 o'clock in the morning. The questions were, how much did you make last month? I said 12,000. She said, how many days did you work? I said 4. And she said, are you hiring? And I said, yep. And that was it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. That was it. And then all day went on, and I never checked, like I said, I didn't do TikTok. And it was like 11:30 at night, and Megan was in our room, and I said, let's see what my TikTok's doing. And I was totally kidding, and I opened it up, and it said 122,000 views. So it's now like, it's 11:30 at night, and I knew Paige was sleeping, and I'm sitting there, and I said, Megan, it said 122,000. She was like, give me your phone. She was ticked because it wasn't her account. So I look at it, and I said, this is it. She goes, you have 4,000 followers. Mom, I have like 10. And I said, is that good? She threw my phone at me and she went to bed. So I'm laying there, and I thought, oh my gosh, I have to call somebody. I have to call Paige. And I was like, it's 11:30, I can't call Paige. So I knew there's a time difference, so I called Dom. He did not answer. It's probably fortunate, because I probably would not have slept at all that night. But I knew something incredible was happening, and I didn't know what to do with it. So by the time I woke up in the morning, it was at like 200,000 views. I think I had 6,000 followers. So I'm looking, and I was laying in bed. It was a Saturday morning, and everyone's like, more info, and so I'm just copy pasting my email address. So I said, Megan, I'm putting my email address, and nothing is happening. She was like, Mom, you have to do a reply video TikTok to the first comment, and then all these people will see it. And I was like, what am I supposed to say? Just tell them what you do. I said, okay, I can do that. I think that video was maybe 15, maybe 30 seconds. And as soon as we hit it, my email went crazy. So I'm happy to share Megan's contact information. I still don't understand. I literally consider it a huge blessing that was thrown in my lap. I had already been in a group for hiring that I was forced to be in. And I would attend the meeting, and my husband and I would just sit there. And it was obviously I was there for a reason. So at this point, we have hired well over 200 new agents since May 21st of this year. We have 9 writers as of right now. There are a lot of people, as far as hiring on TikTok, I will say, there are a lot of people that are impressioned by what we do and who you are if you do a TikTok video. Be authentic and be yourself. I had people calling me in tears, just so excited about an opportunity. A lot of these people just want an opportunity. They're hard workers, they will listen, they're coachable, and they want to do whatever you're doing. So if my biggest piece of advice is to just listen to what they would like and help them get there. So that is my best piece of advice as far as that. A lot of people I've hired were stay-at-home moms just like me. They're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, and this is a way for them to change their life. As far as the emails when they came in, for at least a week I was paying Megan or Tanner to go in and copy paste the hiring video, and then it was whoever got back to us. I mean, for a good 6 weeks, Freddie and I were interviewing nonstop, and Paige helped now and then in between appointments. It's incredible the amount of people that we talked to and hired and that have helped. So it's been, as far as the hiring part, I used to think, and this is just how we started, and obviously where I am now are very different people. But I used to think, why would I share this with anybody? Who wants to dial the phone all day long and get hung up on and sworn at, and then show up and they're not there because they forgot about you and you spend all day thinking about them? And why would I want to subject anybody to this? The other side of the coin is that people just want an opportunity, and the system does work. If you buy leads and you make phone calls and you go see the people, some people, guys, they have blank checks stapled right to their forehead. They're not taped, they're stapled. The 3 people I helped the other day, there was zero effort in that. So they're all blessings from God. So just know that when you're hiring people, I lost my train of thought.
You didn't want to hire.
It's a good
I
opportunity.
didn't want to hire people. People just want to know there's an opportunity. Some people, I have this one sweet girl who doesn't have 2 nickels to rub together. She got her health and life license done in 1 week time. She had to save money to buy her E&O insurance. I mean, people just want an opportunity, and we are that opportunity. So consider it a blessing. I didn't hire anybody, and now I'm at restaurants when the server's fantastic. I give them my card, and I was like, "Do you want to make a lot more money? Then call me." Or I'll ask for their phone number, just like a lead.
Would you have done that before?
No. Nope. Nope. I need to order new business cards again.
Would you say that this business,
So-
would you say that this business has helped your personal confidence just overall, just as
Yes.
a person in general?
Yeah, and I have noticed with my kids,
Yeah.
an example for my kids has been very eye-opening. They knew that there was value. Mark and I, my husband and I, we've always been a team. It's always been, we have a landscape company. Now it's his landscaping company and my insurance business. And the kids see how hard I work. And they know that I have bad days, and they're right there with me to give me a hug when I need it. So, but it has changed my confidence level immensely. I didn't think I could do this. I didn't think I knew what I was talking about or what I was doing, and I definitely stand a lot taller when I'm in people's homes now when I'm trying to help them. They know that I'm there for one reason, and that's to protect their family.
Jennifer, I want to add to your team, is you paid $38,000?
Yes,
Last month.
in
yeah.
So
August.
you're on your way to sales manager?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
So, how much did you do personal?
12.
How cool is that? Like $12,000 personal, and another $20-some odd thousand outside of that. And you hired your first agent how long ago?
Well, from TikTok, it was 90 days ago.
How about contracted? First contracted agent.
Well, nobody was licensed that is writing
No.
them. They all had to get licensed.
They all had to get, it's
Well,
It's about a month and a half.
Ashley was already licensed. She started in June.
So only one of the 8 writers was already licensed.
Mhm.
They all made it through Guys, these are quality.
I'm gonna say
people.
about a month and a half. We've had through contracting.
Yeah.
We've had through contracting.
That's crazy.
And they're pouring out more and more.
And
Oh,
they're
every
hiring
day.
people already.
Yeah.
I know Nayla,
Yeah.
she's already hired 3 people, and they're in class.
Josh has already hired multiple people.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Josh Rang.
And Josh brought Franklin, who Franklin was already taking his test when he talked to us. He didn't even wait for a voucher, he just was already in it.
I think we've got about 6 or 7 too that have passed their state exam, just waiting on their license to get put in contracting.
And this is nationwide hiring too. There's no.
Oh, I have an agent in Alaska who just started running.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's 2 in Hawaii, 1 in Alaska,
There you go.
and I have spent a lot of money on out-of-state
She can
licenses.
sell ice to an Eskimo, too.
And just to clarify, that's all TikTok hiring.
All of it is TikTok.
How
I
many,
only had 1 person
One TikTok,
under me
90 days
before.
later, 38 grand paid.
How many views did you end up with on that one TikTok? I thought you were up over 2 million.
2.5 million.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
7-second video.
yeah. That's why Megan got a new phone.
Might be a new car next.
Oh,
Oh,
trust
yeah.
me, they all have their plans. Everyone has the color teeth that they want, and Megan was informed because she's a senior, and so she said, we were camping a couple weeks, and she was, wait, how do we pay for college? I go, we don't pay for college. You pay for college, it's called a student loan. I can't have debt. I was like, well, then I guess you're getting your license in December. She'll be 18 December 3rd. So,
Awesome.
any other questions? Yes.
Actually, I have one. You were talking about before, I guess you got thrown out of someone's house a couple days ago, or yesterday, and you said you've been thrown out multiple times, so how did you handle that the couple times, or first time, to get through the next and the next, after you've...
I just have to remember that they're people, and I will say the first time it ever happened, he was very mentally unstable, and I looked at his poor wife, and she was just like, I'm so sorry. And they didn't have any insurance, so I just said, if you want help, please call me. But I usually, that's what we have running buddies for. Usually I call Paige, or I call my husband, and I just work it out, and then you just know the next person could be the sweetest thing ever. Whenever we're doing something that, well, there's two ways that it's come to my attention. When we're doing things that you will be great at, things come in your way to make it not happen. Like Satan works overtime when you're on the right path. God also uses things to bring you closer to him. So that's kind of where I'm at. I am a very faithful person. I am a very big prayer warrior. And that's just how I roll. So I get mad, trust me. I get very mad. But I just go to the next house. And that's why you book 10 appointments. So you set your mind right. I will ask God for help every time. And I go to the next house. So that's what I do.
Can you tell them what you do if you go in a house and they don't have life insurance?
I let them know I'm not leaving until their family's protected.
That's what she
They
says.
will sit there and, I'll say, do you have any coverage currently? And they're like, nope. I said, okay, well, we're going to take care of this right now. And then if they try to tell me they can't afford, I said, that's fine. We'll find something that works for your price range. That's why I have 17 carriers and I'm not leaving until your family's protected. And sometimes I have a wife that takes a big deep breath, thank goodness someone's going to stand up for me.
Mm.
I don't leave until they have protection. Very rarely do I leave when they have nothing.
That's why she gets thrown out sometimes.
Those are the policies that probably stick though, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they needed it. Anyone else?
How many appointments do you run a week, part-time? 30
I
is the magic number
usually-
for full-time.
Well, I try to book 10. Sometimes it's 8 and 8, so 16, 14, 16. And then I usually sit with probably 8 or 9 of them. I usually do 4 or 5 apps a week.
And how much do you put in the leads?
$500 every dial session. If I have been on vacation and it's been a couple weeks since I bought new leads, then I'll drop $1,000. But my dial day is super fast. I try to start at 8:30 and I'm usually done by 11:30. If I'm still there at 3 o'clock, you probably don't want to talk to me.
Are you dialing
Me either.
for the appointment count, or are you dialing until the list is done?
Appointment count.
Okay, that's how you run your week. Okay.
Yeah, because I cover 3 counties, and so I need to make sure that I am in,
The same location.
yes, yeah.
You're in Raleigh?
I am in Raleigh, but I run Pitt County, Edgecombe, and Wilson.
Wilson.
So I
Tell us
do
why
all
you do
those.
that real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason I do that is because I used to be really lazy dialing. And if I just got 6 appointments set in the Raleigh area and I had a big gap from 1 to 3 or from 11 to 3, I would come home. I'd come home and have lunch and play ball with Finn, who's my 90-pound yellow lab. And it made me more intentional when I am not running where I live. So I'm not going to drive 2 hours to Greenville
Mhm.
unless I have 8 appointments there.
Yeah.
So that's why I do that. That was unfortunately a lesson I learned very early on. When I started, Paige gave me her Pitt County leads, because she couldn't get to them because she had 10 counties herself. So she gave me the Pitt County leads, and I will tell you, after I think the first or second time, why I did it a second time, I don't know. Driving for 3 appointments and sitting with one and having it be a no sale, and then having the other 2 not show up because they forgot I was coming. You learn real quick to get 8 to 10 appointments when you're driving 2 hours from home.
That's right. That's big stuff. When I started, I was in Raleigh, and Sean, you remember this? He gave us leads, like, not in Raleigh. I was like, where's Charlotte at? He was like, it's right up the road. I don't know any better, right? I have no clue. So I'll book my appointments. When you start, like, my first appointment was at 8. You know what time I woke up? Like 7:30. Okay, because it's 15 minutes away, right? That's what he said. I put in my GPS at 3 hours. I was like, whew, I gotta go, right? But I was like, why'd you do that? He's like, you're gonna be more intentional running away from home. And where I was, like, I'd come home, I'd have a sandwich, I'd watch SportsCenter. Next thing you know, I start debating, should I call them? Should I check on it? Should I see if they're gonna be home? Because I don't wanna leave my house if they're not home, right? So let me call them and check. And then they'd cancel it on me. So you find ways, and everybody's different though. It's like she knows her, you gotta do that. That's not everybody. I couldn't work at home to start this business. I had to get away.
Too much distraction.
Too many distractions, too easy just to pack it in. But if I'm in Charlotte, I know nobody in Charlotte. I'm not going to drive 3 hours for 4 appointments. Okay? I'm not going to be late again. So I'm going to wake up earlier. You wake up earlier, you're just better set for the day. So once I got back local, I was starting to wake up early. Do you know what I mean? But I had to be forced to wake up early at the beginning. You see, like everybody has their own thing. I wasn't that disciplined. You know what I mean? Still to this day, I put things in my way so that it forces me to be disciplined. Because otherwise, if it's not there, you just you can float in this business if you allow yourself. And that's kind of what Paige was just talking about. So great point. And I think everybody should really look at, when you're starting this business, do some travel trips. I don't mean to make it a consistent every week thing, but I think you should mix it in. Especially if you want to get 2-3 solid days in and create some momentum, right? Because you create momentum on the road, I believe, and you can bring that back home. So, great job. Great.
Yes.
What do you do if you run into situations where people say they're only available on a weekend, like Saturdays, or like
Usually, if I have that, I have a special folder they go in, and I will plan a Saturday and work a Saturday. Like, that's probably what I'll do tomorrow, since I didn't do super great dialing today with all the distraction.
Now, with your schedule being so part-time and you running the days you work, how has that helped you to kind of go with this question of, because some people will say, they'll try to lead you to another day, or you'll try to go to another day if you have, like if you're full-time and you got all the time to run, you may be more open to say, okay, well, what about Friday then? So when you're trying to book for your Tuesday, and they say something remotely, oh, can you do it later this week? How do you get them back on?
I do get that, and I'll just, I will give them a time on Friday, and then I let them know Thursday I'm calling to confirm. And that's just what I do.
Got it.
But if they try to ask for a day you don't run, are you saying, nope, I'm only there?
Mm-hmm.
And do they sometimes change and meet you on the day that you're going to be there?
I don't know that I've run into, not really. They usually will give me a day next week, and I will just call and confirm the next week.
Got it.
Any other questions? Go for it, yeah.
Do you feel like because of that, though, it makes you a little bit more assertive with nailing it and getting them to take that day and time?
Yep.
Yeah, when I'm on the phone, when I call them, I tell them I have a 10 o'clock or a 3:30, which of those times works better for you? And if they say neither, and they say, well, I don't get home from work, and I'll ask them if they're working, but, they don't always listen. And I'll say, oh, that's great. What time are you and your spouse typically home from work? So we get home at 4. Okay, I've got a spot open at 5:15. Does that work for you? So that I literally when I'm dialing, I am the boss and I'm telling them when I'm going to see them. They think they have a choice, but they kind of don't. So. Okay.